I think they represented a winning brand of basketball, a tough brand of basketball. Clearly we're in the middle of a rebuild now, but we've got some really exciting young talent. We're really excited about next year, adding Trae Young and hopefully a top pick to supplement the core guys that we're building with here. I think it's directionally, good memory of where we want to go in the future too, who we want to be, and getting back to winning too. So bringing John back in the fold just a year back, since he's retired, I think it's really important for us to embrace John. We've hired John to do on-air talent work in our studio for Monumental Sports Network. He's going to be doing more with our team and our alumni ambassador group, representing the team. He did so much for the team on the court, but also off the court too. We're doing a lot of community relations efforts with John. It's true to who John is. He loved DC. DC loves John. And so it's only right that we can, host an event right away to kind of, I would say, begin to give John his flowers. We think this is sort of the beginning of the next chapter in his career. And, I think of John as a wizard for life, and I think that's what tonight is all about.
It's very cool, too. So B and I were talking about it. We both watched the game the other night when the Blazers were in town. And, the broadcast is broadcasting the game, and then they kind of preview the post game. And it's Wes who does a hell of a job, and Sticks, Jason Smith, and then John Wall sitting there. And it was just so cool to see that little preview of the post game show. And then for the Wiz to hold on for that win. It was just a really cool game, especially leading up to tonight. I'm curious, though. So you and John are roughly the same age. I remember where I was when the Wiz won that draft lottery. I was sitting at the bar at Capitol Lounge on Pennsylvania Avenue. And me and the guys I was with were like, oh, my God, they're going to get John Wall. I'm curious for you. You're a little younger than I am. Where were you when the Wiz won the draft lottery? Were you there?
No, I think I was at home watching on TV like everybody else, but it was heading into the first year that my father had acquired control of the team. If you remember, actually, I was the lottery. That. Yeah, I was the lottery participant when we won the 3rd overall pick. We drafted Bradley Beal. I think Anthony Davis went 1st overall that year. So yeah, I mean, it was the beginning of a new era of basketball. We were sort of, moving on from the era of Gilbert and Antoine and Caron Butler, which was obviously a really exciting chapter in and of itself. But yeah, I mean, John and I are similar age. We experienced DC at a similar time, and it means a lot personally that John's going to be spending more and more time in Washington, D.C. with the organization. We've got a great personal relationship with John, and, we expect him to be involved for a long, long time.
So when John got introduced, that first game was an electric moment when he broke out the Dougie. Again, you guys are roughly the same age. You're experiencing DC at the same time. Was Zach Leonsis trying to figure out the Dougie at that point in time? So, just the whole arena was trying to do it.
My question is that was Zach going to do it tonight?
Yeah. I might, yeah. I haven't done the Dougie in about a dozen years, but you never know. Maybe tonight is tonight. John should do it at on center court at halftime. That would be fun.
Yeah, that would be epic. Special moment right there.
Well, John was true to himself, and I think that's why fans fell in love with him. John has always been incredibly authentic. He felt like one of us. He felt like a true Washingtonian. I think that's why fans built a really emotional bond. That's frankly, he's emblematic, a model of the connection that we want our fans to have with our core players, who we draft, develop, who grow up with the organization, who live here, create families here, who really feel embedded in the community. We've seen that work so well, with the Wizards, clearly with the Capitals, you see it with the Washington Nationals too. And so I think those deep ties are really what ties a fan base to the players and to a franchise too.
What are some of the things we can expect for tonight?
Well, we've got a lot of celebrations in store. The first 15,000 fans are going to receive a unique John Wall bobblehead commemorative edition. We've got a Wall of Fame pop-up, which you're seeing on the screen if you're watching our network right now. We've got a lot of great memorabilia, including the scores table from the 2017 playoff series against the Celtics. You can come check it out, take a photo with it. We're going to honor John throughout the night, special moments, a lot of video tributes. My family and I are making a donation to the John Wall Family Foundation. We've got a couple of little surprises in relation to our community relations efforts with John. But this is all just an opportunity for us to really show him love, embrace him, really get him back in the fold. I think our fans are loving watching him on our network these days. And they're going to see more of him as we move forward. So,
as somebody that's a member of the Very Deep Raspy Voice Club, I love hearing John Wall on the broadcast as a fellow member of the Very Deep Raspy Voice Club. We're talking with our friend Zach Leonsis here on the Rude Guest Hotline. You can give Zach a follow on Twitter at Zachary Leonsis. Of course, check out all the work at Monumental Sports Network. You mentioned it earlier, Zach. As much fun as this is tonight to honor John, I'm an avid Wiz fan. I mean, I remember watching Calbert Cheaney. You know what I mean? Like, I remember the Bullets, going to Bullets games at the old Capitol Center. Like, this is the organization of my life. I find this Wiz team that we're watching right now, and we all kind of understand what the mission is. I'm having a ton of fun watching this team. Watching Alex
So
Sarr,
am I.
Trey Johnson. Like, it's fun to watch, even if the win-loss column doesn't always reflect that. How much are you enjoying this Wiz team?
Yeah, I am too. I think it's more enjoyable than the previous couple of years. I think we've got to measure ourselves on a different metric than wins and losses. Yeah. The hope meter, I think, is increasingly high. We've got 6 or 7 young guys who we think are going to stick with us for the long term and be a part of an important nucleus in the future. You think back to, we've been talking about John and guys like Brad, Otto Porter and whatnot. I don't think John Wall reached his potential until, say, midway through year 3 or year 4 of his NBA career. And so when you see a guy like Alex Sarr playing at an all-star caliber level in just his sophomore season, he's still growing physically. He's still maturing physically into his body and whatnot. Trey Johnson, I think, is showing great signs of progress in his game. The trade where we sent C.J. McCollum and Corey Kispert to Atlanta, those were great vets. We love those guys. But it did clear playing time for Trey, and I think that he's showing off sort of his body of skills and where he could potentially go. Keyshawn, I think the ceiling, he's got a really, really high ceiling.
Yeah.
He's built for the new NBA, long, can hit threes, can defend. And we expect to have a top pick in the NBA draft, supplemented with an elite all-star caliber scorer in Trae Young next season. That's really exciting. No one can really project how big of a step we're going to make next year. I think, we have to be cautious there, because our guys are still so young. They're not quite in their competitive prime yet. But I think we all expect that we're making the incremental progress that, frankly, we deserve, that our fan base wants to see. We've been trying to do this the right way, not take any shortcuts. And, it's good to see some of those green shoots, as they say. We've got some good, promising young guys.
Yeah, Keyshawn plays with an attitude and that energy. I love that.
Yeah, just the other night, I thought these guys were starting to show a little edge in their game.
Yeah.
A little physicality, a little bit of attitude, and that comes with confidence. And I like that. I think just because we've been talking about it today, that team with John and Markieff Morris and Gortat and Brad, that team played with an edge.
Yeah.
When Randy Whitman was coach, we were a top 5 defensive team. We were tough. We were tough to play against. And I think that this team can be tough, not just to play against, but just tough physically too, and play both ends of the court. I think that's how we're, our front office, our coaching staff is really trying to champion both sides of the court here.
Well, dude, to that point, watching Sarr and Klingon kind of trade a couple elbows, get a little physical in the paint, I loved that.
I like that. I like watching
dude,
that.
The Big Eiffel, man, I'm all in on that dude and that nickname. And to your point earlier, I just pulled it up. As good as John was right out of the break, he wasn't an all-star player until his 4th season, and then he made 5 in a row. And that's when you saw that Wiz team make a jump. And this young Wiz team is certainly exciting. I like the way Coach Keefe kind of gets after them, and I think that game tonight will be pretty darn electric. And so, I mean, John Wall night tonight, then you get the Lakers coming to town tomorrow night. Like, this is a heck of a run for a little 3-night homestand. I think, weather-wise, people should be able to get out and about, metros running, whatever. How much do you enjoy, because Caps games, I've said this for a long time, there is no better in-game product in D.C. than going to a Caps game. Like, it's just the most production value and just everything is done right. That crowd is so amped up all the time. There's so many different chants and everything. Caps games are so much fun. But when there's big-time hoops at Capital One Arena, the vibe is different, and I think we're going to feel that tonight and maybe tomorrow night with the Lakers coming to town too.
I agree. I mean, it starts with the product on the rink or the court. With the Capitals, we've obviously had 20 years of sustained winning and success. We've been knocking on the door. We won a championship, President's Trophies, division championships. I mean, we've had iconic players, obviously. We were building in that direction, I think in the 2010s with the teams, but between injuries and other things, we got derailed. And so, we're pursuing this rebuild not for a quick win or just to, eke our way into the playoffs one day. We want to build a sustainable winning culture and team that can compete for a championship multiple times in a row. And that just takes time. And so we know that Washington, D.C. is an incredible basketball hotbed. I mean, look at our college programs in the area, all the high school programs. We stream and air some of those games on our television network. I mean, it's incredible, the talent. When we have a great winning basketball team, this is a basketball town. And so I do think back to some of those playoff series that we had against the Celtics, the Raptors, you name it. And, the building was electric. And I want to get back to that just like everyone else does. And I think our players are going to feast on it when that day comes.
Zach, as a dude with degrees from Maryland and Georgetown, don't look too close at our local college teams this year. It's been a grind,
okay.
Dog. But whatever,
right.
Better things to
There's
come. Mason's killing it.
There's a lot of great history here.
a lot of legacy. I told B, Maryland hoops for me.
Terps are going to be back. Hoyas will be back one day. We're going to have our damn son.
Yeah.
I'm with you there. I am curious though, because it takes guts from an ownership level to embark on a rebuild. And like, how difficult were those conversations when you're looking at the landscape and you're like, all right, we got to get younger and try a different path? Like, how difficult is that decision-making process?
I actually don't think the decision is particularly hard. I mean, it's not to be taken lightly, but, a lot of the on-court product, it starts to lay itself out for you in terms of being self-evident. And, my father decided to make a change in leadership at the Monumental basketball level. And I think he's always given leadership the leeway to set out a long-term strategy. We don't want to be looking for Band-Aid solutions. And, when Michael Winger and Will Dawkins came in, they presented a really detailed, I mean, literally it was like a 150-page deck and plan on, a 10-year plan. And so, lots of things change, but they have really executed as they have laid it out. I think they're very thoughtful. And so if you believe in a strategy, it's not hard to make a decision. It is hard to sit through, non-playoff seasons. It's hard for our fans. It's hard for us. We don't enjoy this necessarily, but we enjoy the journey of where we believe this can take us. And when we hopefully get to the place that we all want to go, I hope everyone starts to feel like it becomes that much more rewarding. Before this great period of winning for the Capitals had to rebuild their team. And I remember there were some pretty lean days during Alex's rookie season and the season before that. We made the playoffs, I think, Alex's third season in the NHL. And, people said Washington could never be a hockey town. 25 years later, I think people look at us as the most iconic and sort of exemplar organization, or certainly one of them across the NHL.
Yeah.
And so, times change. You go through winning periods, losing periods, ascending periods, downward periods, rebuilds, championship windows, times when you meet expectations or beat expectations, times when you come in under expectations. We've seen it all. And so I think that all helps us have sort of the emotional wherewithal to be patient, to do something the right way, to not take shortcuts. And, we believe in what Michael and Will are building, and I think fans can see it. We're talking about it. JP, you're seeing it. I think BMitch, you're seeing it.
Yep.
And there's still a lot of work to do. Clearly, we're not there yet, but we like the progress we're making.
Well, dude, I think fans are with you. I think fans bought into the vision when you hire Winger, hire Dawkins for all of it. And I think especially starting to see the breadcrumbs kind of come together and looking at the pieces and Keyshawn and Sarr and I think Bub since CJ has been traded, I think Bub's play has been better. Like, it's an exciting time to be a Wiz fan, I think.
Yeah.
Zach, I know you got to run, but I did want to let our producer Jeff ask you one question. Jeff is very excited to ask you one.
Head here for me because I can't make the game. I can't make the game tonight.
I was holding my breath. I didn't know what was coming. Yes, we can send you a John Wall Bava. That should not be difficult.
Appreciate it.
See, Jeff, I told you just got to ask for what you want in this world.
You had Zach scared, man. Zach, like, what the hell is he gonna ask?
Zach, thank you so much for the time, dude.
Appreciate
we'll see
you,
tonight.
Zach.
Should be a really fun night at the arena.
Yeah, thank you guys. Really